how long it is?
10 seconds.
Oh, why not?
9, 8,
You'll be there, she'll be there, I'll be here, and we will see you here.
Cue the band, and 3. Standing by for the colour plug. Take one, take one. Number 4.
Oh, thanks very much. The end of another show. Do you know what? We've made over 140 motor mouths, and to make each programme takes a team of over 40 people, most of them working here behind the scenes. But the live programme that you see on a Saturday morning doesn't just happen. It's all planned out beforehand. And part of that planning involves the use of one of these, a storyboard. Well, it's a storyboard like this that we want you to produce to enter the Acting Against Drug Misuse competition. In this action pack, you'll find lots of useful hints and tips to help you out, which your teacher will take you through. And there's also a blank storyboard, which your group can photocopy and use. So what exactly is a storyboard? Well, to help explain, let's take a look at the role this storyboard played in the development of one small part of Motormouth.
To us. Can we replace that with a studio camera? Excuse me.
Team meetings are a vital part of the production process. Every Monday morning, our producer gets her team together. Planning is everything in this game, so you should make sure that you get your team together before you put pen to paper.
Right, so we were debating whether it was...
Well, as the producer of Motormouth, I suppose I'm ultimately responsible for everything that goes out on the screen, although it is very much a team effort. One person comes up with an idea, somebody else adds to it, and before you know it, we're up and running. My biggest worry, I suppose, is that one day we'll run out of ideas, but thankfully that hasn't happened yet. To give us an idea of what our ideas will actually look like, the art department have to come up with a storyboard. A storyboard is basically a series of drawings, a bit like a comic strip, where each drawing represents a different scene in the part of the story. The artist probably has got the hardest job because he has to take all our strange ideas and actually put them down on paper.
Be better. Basically, I choreograph it. It's a bit like a conductor of an orchestra, I suppose, in a funny sort of way. Well, as far as the star's concerned, I suppose I'm in control. I mean, the producer will say to me what she would like to see, but ultimately, because I'm moving cameras around and I'm using the team, I'm responsible for making sure that the images look good on the screen. I use storyboards quite regularly to work out exactly what I want to see. So it's quite interesting that you gave 5 directors the same piece to actually portray on the screen, and thankfully you'll get 5 different products.
In our show, the actors build their dialogue around storylines provided by the writers. To give you an idea of how a programme comes together, we are going to concentrate on the production of just one short sequence of Motormouth from beginning to end.
Think of a normal scriptwriter for, say, I don't know, Coronation Street, EastEnders, whatever, is responsible for the dialogue, but with Motormouth, the actors essentially are the ones who produce the dialogue through improvisation, whereas my job really is just to produce a storyline which they can then develop, and of course I'll throw in ideas in rehearsal, but basically the lines are theirs.
I'm a Democrat.
This week what we've gone for is that Paul, the most unlikely person you could think of, has turned out to be 273rd in line for the throne of England. This doesn't mean a great deal to him, in fact, because he's American, they're not into that kind of thing too much. As we come to this scene, this is the point where things really start to happen. Paul's just discovered he is 273rd in line for the throne, and he's not too bothered about it himself, but Millie spots tremendous potential in this because she knows that Max is heavily into royalty, and this is ideal for winding him up. So what we're working towards is the moment where Max comes to Paul wanting to know if it's all true, and apparently it is all true, and Max's great ambition is to get to a Buckingham Palace garden party, Paul can now use this as a means of getting at Max. And so maybe we'll even persuade Max to go down on his knees before Paul. We're not sure, but we'll go for that. We'll try that anyway.
Using the storyboard as a guide, the actors play out their scenes in character. You will have to develop characters to use in your storyboard and map out their lines and movements. Guests on the show often appear in the drama scenes. This week, the actor Danny Newman from Prince of Thieves is in the programme. But at this stage, the actors have to rehearse with members of the production team standing in.
On everything, but it just isn't me, all right?
I mean, I find a lot of the stuff I like myself doing best comes up on the Saturday morning or Friday evening when we've actually got the real guests in, and then they inspire you to do things.
Look at Kingy. Not maybe don't look at Kingy. Do you know
Some weeks I feel fine, and other weeks I'm racked with nerves again. Last week I got stage fright for some obscure reason, about week 15 into it, and I was petrified all of a sudden again. But then once you finish, the amount of adrenaline you've used up, absolutely. I'm always exhausted about 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. That's me gone for a couple of hours. I've got to go to sleep.
Excuse me, Paul. Excuse me, my liege. Look, if you'd like, sorry.
Will you cut that out? You're making me nervous.
I know, but it's only good fun, Paul. Paul, no, you put the kettle on. I can do that for you. I could be like a servant. You could be like the king.
You know, usually you're working with a script and you just have to go with that script. You can do small changes, but this gives you a chance to really, introduce elements of your character all the way through that you just come up with. It's brilliant freedom to devise. I mean, it can be a strain if you can't think of anything funny right away, but as long as you relax and listen to what other people are saying to you, it's quite easy to do, really.
As the scenes are rehearsed, the actors come up with new ideas, which need to be included in the final script. You may find your script develops in the same way.
We've only got a day to do something like 40 drama scenes, which is, quite tight, and doesn't give you much time to play around and improvise it one or 4 or 5 different ways.
It's important that everybody working on the show knows exactly what will be happening in each scene. So, copies of the finished script and storyboard are distributed to everyone involved.
Oh, thank you. Basically, my job is to look after all the actors and the director, and to provide them with everything they need to make the thing work. But a lot of it's very obvious. I mean, if the script says she boils a kettle, I have to provide them with a kettle. The interesting part is helping to create a scene behind the actors that's both believable and funny.
Come on, Chris. Hey.
I'm the scenic designer, and it's my job to design and provide any special items we might need on a weekly basis. For example, this week in the drama, we've got to make a special throne for Gary. It's something that he's made, so I've tried to use things which look as though they've come out of the prop store. We also have to think about the practical side of things. It has to go through a door, so it can't be too wide. It has to have a nice high back, so it looks like a throne from the front. All these things we have to take into consideration, and also get it built on time. There's always a lot of things to do.
Everything the actors wear on screen is provided by the wardrobe department, who make most of the clothes themselves. You need to think about the type of clothes the characters in your storyboard will wear. Just 24 hours to go before the show goes on air, and there are still 1,000,001 things left to do. At this stage, the studio is still being prepared. You should think about the sets or locations your story will need.
Can you take some props through to the prop?
hide them. You go,
Hey, Julie, can you take some props through to the props room for me?
Certainly, Steve. Anything you like.
Thank you.
Finally, the actors get to rehearse on set with the full production team. This is everyone's last chance to practice before the show goes on air in the morning. The running order for tomorrow's programme is discussed well into the night. This is the team's last chance to make any changes. You may find that the order of your storyboard will have to change as you develop your ideas.
Yes, we're not nervous at all.
1 minute to the programme.
Good luck. Don't want to worry, but this is easily the most animated presenter on the show. Sorry, I've got to go now. We're a minute to out.
12,
Get Andy right
11,
down on shot, please.
ETA roll.
Get Jed
9,
out, please.
8, 7,
I want to settle
6,
shots, please.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Tight on one.
1,
Get
0.
That's not what we rehearsed. Go.
1, 2.
I'm alright now. Now I've got my succession of about 8 scenes in the lounge and I've got no idea which is which. So this might be a laugh.
Yeah. Ladies, can I have you?
Yes, certainly can. Bye.
Bye.
Cue ball and 3.
What are you doing?
I'm just sorting out some stuff for Tony Shepherd.
Let me do that, your worshipness here. Bow.
Paul, can we do anything for you, sire?
Yes. You can cut that out. You're making me nervous.
Paul. Oh, no. Don't ruin those raw wedding hands. Make him a cup of tea, you.
Sorry, that's
Oh, Grey Molly.
Yep, fine.
Come on, Paul, do it a bit more. Blimey, if Max had just found out he was heir to the throne, he'd be doing triple somersaults by now.
Have us making him cups of tea every 10 seconds.
Oh.
Cue Juliet and take it.
Ah, Juliet.
Stephen.
Have you seen Paul around?
I'm afraid I haven't seen anybody. I'm the only one doing any work around here.
Oh, right. Will you take some of these worms through to the props room then?
Certainly, Stephen.
Thank you.
Good.
Cue Juliet in. Cue Juliet.
Paul, these disgusting creatures are your responsibility, I believe. Juliet.
You cannot leave worms on the royal lap.
What? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Haven't a clue.
This is Paul. Paul Miller. He of noble descent. Descendant of Lord Milbury of Snee.
English translation, please.
Sorry. You see, Paul's computer has churned out a printout telling us all about his ancient ancestors, and it says that Paul is in line to the British throne.
Very entertaining, Millie. You two never cease to amaze me the lengths you'll go to avoid working, including trapping a guest.
That's a printout from the National Heritage Database.
That's it.
And cue Max 5.
Give me just a little more time and my hair will surely grow.
Can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
What can't you believe?
Max, have you ever noticed Paul talking to plants? That looks nice.
Thanks. No.
Or showing an interest in architecture?
No.
I think there's a bit more over to the right.
Oh, thanks.
Or sort of, actually he has got rather protruding ears, hasn't he?
Who's got protruding ears?
Paul, I mean, he could be related to Prince Charles.
Juliet, many people have protruding ears and they're not all related to Prince Charles.
No, but he's got proof.
What do you mean proof? What proof?
He's got a printout of his heritage from St Catherine's House saying he is 273rd in line to the British throne.
What nonsense!
It's true!
Juliet, Paul is stupid, he's foreign, he's common, and he's foreign. And I refuse to believe for one instance that he is in any way related to our glorious British royal family.
So you don't think it's possible then?
The very notion is offensive.
Take 4. In they come.
Oh, Max, great. I wanted to have a chat with you. Oh, you heard, obviously.
Yes, and it's preposterous.
I couldn't believe it either. Lineage. It's just a distant relation, of course, but it's all there in black and white. Oh, listen, I hope you don't think this is going to change our relationship.
I certainly do not.
No, it's still Max and Paul. You know, I wanted to have a chat with you about your admiration for the British royal family.
Well, I think they do a marvellous job.
And loyalty like that shouldn't go unrewarded.
Really? Well, if you're related to them, you can just jolly well get me an invitation to tea at Buckingham Palace, can't you?
Yeah, I suppose I could. I mean, they're family after all.
Really?
Millie! I think that's a great idea, Max. Well,
you do your best for me then.
Sure, I can't stand around here being an ordinary person. Busy. Practice, practice, practice.
So don't forget, in your drawings, just put exactly what you want to be seen on screen, okay? Yeah. Great, get to it. So now you know how much fun and hard work goes into just 2 minutes of motor mouth, and especially the value of the storyboard. So why have we shown you all this? Well, by now, you've probably given some thought to some of the issues raised in the materials that accompany this video. Drug misuse is a serious subject, and we want you to think carefully about which aspects are important to you. For example, you might like to write about the effects on the individual, the family, or the community, or even about the benefits of not misusing drugs. It's up to you. It's your chance to tell a story. And remember, although it is a very serious subject, your story can be light-hearted or humorous in places. Now, it is a national competition, so get drawing now, because young people all over the country, like this group here, are getting ready to act against drug misuse.